Yo guys, it is your boy Niran here, and welcome to yet another Euro 2020 video. The tournament is just a matter of days away now, and you know what that means. It means an extremely informative, realistic, and accurate prediction of football. The thing is, as well, I'm a neutral, alright? I'm Nigerian. We're not in this European thing. I'm not gonna be so I probably ought to move that. So today I'm going to be predicting the group stages and the knockout stages as well. I've got a website here from the Telegraph. Now let's start off with Group A. The main contenders really for this one, Italy. Now they come into the tournament with a 100% record in qualification. Really nice balance in midfield. Nicolo Barella comes into the tournament as the best Serie A midfielder. Obviously you got Marco Verratti and then Jorginho. Yeah, you got Verratti and Barella. The one X factor that I feel like they might be missing is up top. Ciro Immobile is a great striker. I wouldn't say one of the absolute best strikers at the competition. Probably top 6, but no higher than that. You've got Wales, who got to the semi-finals unbelievably in 2016. Obviously, Gareth Bale is their main man, but he's pretty much clocked out. But it was Wales, Golf, Madrid in that order. So theoretically, he should be even better for Wales than he is at golf. Don't actually know if he's any good at golf, so yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Along with them in this group, Turkey. A lot of people are suggesting they'll be dark horses. Burak Yilmaz is coming off the season of his life, winning League On with Lille. Yusuf Yazici's in that team as well, and Zeki, the right back too. The only thing for them is that they play Italy first, so if they get off to a bad start, momentum-wise, that might really hurt them. But if they get a draw in that game, there'll definitely be some good confidence. A team that I haven't even spoken about, really, Switzerland. They're just kind of there, innit? Do you know what I mean? They have actually got to the round of 16 in their last 3 tournaments, and 4 of the last 5, I think. They won their group in qualifying, but it wasn't a particularly difficult one. And they're not dickheads, in fairness. They've got Sommer, Xhaka, Shaqiri, Dennis Zakaria, a Don at right back who has the sickest dread, so you know he's just a baller. But for me, I see Switzerland going out, and whoever comes third in this group probably goes through because it's so close. The groups where there's 2 teams that will run away from the other 2 are the ones where you're not gonna get a third team get through. Now, Group B is next. We've got Denmark, Finland, Belgium, and Russia. Let's not dick about, alright? Well, their defense may have a combined age that predates the 16th century, but I still think they've got enough quality. They've got Kevin De Bruyne, who's just won PFA Players Player of the Year. Don't really know how, but he won it, look. And they've got Romelu Lukaku, who's just slapped up Serie A and helped Inter to their first Scudetto in 10 years. So just off the balance of that, they're going to be scoring for fun. I think Belgium will be quite an exciting team to watch this year. I honestly, the most shocking thing about Belgium is going to be the fact that Thomas Vermaalen's on the plane. They probably had to get him a stair lift just to get on it. Now, second in this group, for me, is a bit of a free-for-all. Denmark didn't have the greatest qualifying. They came second in a pretty easy group, but they've got some great personnel. Defensively, their captain, Kjær, is great. They've got Champions League winner Andreas Christensen in there, Christian Eriksen, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Daniel Vass, Kasper Schmeichel, one of the most underrated goalkeepers about in there. Then you've got Russia, who don't look good on paper. They don't have a good squad. You've got the likes of Golovin, Cheryshev, Artem Zhuba, Yuri Zhirkov is in the team. He's been to the last 11 international tournaments, and that probably isn't even a lie. But the thing about Russia is all their players play for like 3 teams, so they all know each other really well anyway, which is actually quite an important thing. And in Finland, well, they've just got Teemu Pukki, so they've got a great keeper in Radetzky, but other than that, there's not really a huge amount of other players, but I like them, so I'm gonna say they're gonna come third. Not second, though. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm gonna say Denmark will go through. Group C now, which I think will be the biggest formality of a group, which now means that North Macedonia are gonna win it. Let's be honest, if the Netherlands don't win this group, they've shafted it. Obviously, they haven't even made the last couple of international tournaments. They missed out on Euro 2016, didn't go to the World Cup in 2018. So they go into this tournament hoping to prove a point, but without Virgil van Dijk. Jordan Pickford was just being extremely patriotic, okay, when he obliterated Virgil van Dijk's knee. Even still, it looks like they might be wanting to play 5 at the back based off their most recent friendlies, which I actually quite like, because I don't like their wing backs. Wijndal and Dumfries are going to cause them problems left, right, and centre. But at least they don't have to do too much defensive work. And obviously without Van Dijk, I guess having 3 centre-backs makes sense. De Vrij is sick. De Ligt is very good. But I love their midfield as well. De Jong, Gravenberch, the youngster, Van der Beek, even after his UK-wide tour of benches. After that, we've got Ukraine, who may well have won their qualifying group, but recently drew to Bahrain. Bahrain! I'm convinced they just picked up random members of the population for this one. They are similar to Russia, though, in the sense of a lot of their players play for Dynamo Kiev or Shakhtar Donetsk. And then there's Austria, who have couple pretty good players. They are, however, coming off the back of a loss to England, a very, very bland England, and a 4-0 thrashing against Denmark, which isn't really ideal. And then North Macedonia, I will be honest, I'm not going to pretend to know anything about these lot. Now, if you're relying on Goran Pandev, a man whose hairline is genuinely 3 miles behind where he stands, you're in serious problems. It's a really difficult one for me, but I reckon Austria are going to go through second in that group with the Ukraine third. Group D, of which D stands for this beautiful game is coming home, I'm telling you now. Yeah, look, listen, we made light work of qualifying, although we did lose to the Czech Republic, who find themselves in our Euros group. So it's not exactly a formality, but with the squad that we have, the young Hungary side that we have coming through right now, we have to be looking at being massively successful in this group. Jack Grealish has to be a starter for me. The guy is literally one of the best players in the Premier League. Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford as attacking options are still great, but perennially we are just underachievers in these tournaments. And it's hardly going to be an easy ride because in our group are 2 sides that have beaten us before. Croatia knocking us out of the World Cup at the semi-final stage and 2018 World Cup finalists. Luka Modric isn't really the same Luka Modric as 2018, but he has picked up a lot this season. And obviously then you've got the likes of Perisic and Brozovic and Kovacic. Any footballer whose name ends in itch, they're in this team, fam. Even Mario Pasalic, their midfield options are nuts. That is genuinely one area that we may struggle in, especially given a lot of people are suggesting maybe our midfield or central midfield might be a little bit of a weak point. You got Scotland, who go into this tournament playing good football and getting good results under Steve Clarke. But we can't lose to them because we will never hear the end of it ever again. I'm not trying to lose a football match to a nation that happily and willfully eats haggis. But Andrew Robertson's the best left back in the world. Kieran Tierney will be good at left centre-back. In midfield, McTominay and McGinn are very competent footballers. I just don't think they have the firepower. Shea Adams, for me, is a better striker than McBurney anyway. But he's not... I don't think he's taking you out of this group. And then there's the Czech Republic. Realistically, Souček's going to be their main man, but they're kind of just uninspiring, and they'll only do well if their informed players arrive. So for me, England win this group. I know, unrivaled confidence that I really shouldn't have. Every time we underestimate Croatia, they beat us, either at senior level or under 21 level. Have I learnt? Absolutely not. I don't think it matters after this because I think Croatia and England are going to dominate this group so much that both Scotland and the Czech Republic are going to go out. I want to do something wild, but I'm not going to do it just yet. I need to keep the audience retention. You guys need to think that I know what I'm talking about. Going into the tournament without Sergio Ramos, who again, I think people underestimate sometimes the impact of the changing room. Sergio Ramos is a leader, a born winner. I dislike him immensely, but with him, even in the changing room, you're going to do better by default. And honestly, just generally speaking, Spain's squad doesn't say much to me. Midfield-wise, okay, yeah, you got Rodri and Thiago. Attacking options aren't great. Moreno's had a great season with Villarreal, but I doubt he starts. Sweden are unfortunate because Zlatan Ibrahimovic decided he came back, decided he was a god. Gods don't usually get injured. They don't usually sprain an ankle. It's a new era for Sweden, and much like it's a new era really for Spain, Sweden really are going to be relying on youth like Alexander Isak and Dejan Kulusevski. And then with Slovakia, who are pretty inexperienced in competitions generally, but do at least have the experience of Marek Hamšík, for example. I just think they also lack the quality too. And I have absolutely zero idea who any of their strikers are. I've literally not heard of a single one of them. In contrast to that, Poland, the final team in this group, probably have the best striker in world football right now. Robert Lewandowski's just had a 40-goal season in the Bundesliga. This guy is nuts. With any sort of service whatsoever, he's dragging Poland to a decent level here. He's got Zielinski behind him, very competent and strong goalkeeper in Wojciech Szczesny. I think Poland advance here. I think Spain win the group, Sweden in third, and then Slovakia going home. The Group F, Hungary will start off with. I'm sorry for every Hungarian ever. You lot are going to get slapped about. I'm really sorry. Hungary aren't even that bad. They go into the tournament without their one main guy, Dominik Szoboszlai, who basically dragged them through the qualifiers and literally scored the winning goal late on in the game to get them to this tournament, is out injured. Hopefully he'll get this opportunity again, but I would absolutely love them to do it. I think they are the ultimate underdog story in an absolute group of death here. They're actually in great form as a nation. Nations League form is great. They've beaten the likes of Turkey, Iceland, and Serbia as well, who are all teams you could probably argue would squeak through in a group in this competition. Portugal next, and even though Ronaldo's had a pretty stinky league campaign, he always turns up to a European competition. The man sees UEFA in the name and just gains superpowers. He'd score at like 12 a game in the Conference League. But even outside of Ronaldo, you know, Portugal have got great players like Bernardo Silva, Ruben Diaz, who's just won player player of the year in England, like João Felix, who finally looks like he might be getting himself together at Atleti, and obviously Bruno Fernandes, who's had an amazing season at Manchester United. I think Portugal could go far, even though they've been pretty underwhelming in games leading up to the tournament. France are the obvious favourites overall. Their squad and depth is crazy. Benzema's back. Hopefully there's going to be no more sex tapes getting released. Don't blackmail somebody. That's all you have to do, Karim. And they've won the last 2 international competitions. They know what they're doing. The only weakness for me that they have, and it's a really small weakness, is maybe their back line. It's not as inspiring as the rest of the side. A centre-back partnership of Varane these days and Kimpembe is not as incredible as it used to be. It's still enough to win this tournament with the rest of the side that they have. But if anyone's going to get at them, it's probably going to be via one of those two or anyone in their back line making a mistake. And then you've got Germany, once powerhouses of international football overall, just not the same team anymore. They've gone back to experience, recalling the likes of Mats Hummels and Thomas Muller. They're just not really as scary as they used to be. I think they could genuinely struggle again. So for me, France win the group, Portugal actually come second, Germany come third. Now, third place rating, I already said that Group A and Group C are pretty much lock-ins for a team to get through out of those ones because of how close-knit the groups are. It doesn't necessarily mean they'll be the best. I think Germany will probably get that from Group F. After that, it's a bit of a free-for-all, but I reckon Wales and Ukraine, as I mentioned, Group A and Group C, likely to have a third representative from them. Can I suggest that Finland will go through? Yes, I can. Go on, lads. Now, that leaves us with this round of 16. So we've got Italy versus Austria. I think, for me, that seems like a no-brainer to me. I think, again, Italy could go far. Turkey and Denmark are pretty equally matched when you look at the personnel. But as I said, I think Turkey, with the confidence level of some of their key players, therefore, I reckon they'll go through against Denmark. So, Belgium v Wales. I mean, look, it's the replay of the century, isn't it? Hal Robson-Kanu will step out onto the pitch and Belgium are going to get Vietnam flashbacks. Honestly, I'm seeing Belgium go. I don't see lightning striking twice. If it does, then fair play to Wales. Wales aren't as good, even as they were then. Then the Netherlands versus Germany, which is the first really juicy tie. They're both great sides, great players. But again, I just don't see Germany doing that much in this tournament. I think if Van Dijk was fit, this is a shoo-in, surefire Netherlands win. And with Van Dijk injured, I'm still saying it's a surefire, easy win. Then leaves us with Croatia and Poland. You know what? I fancy doing a bit of a madness here. I haven't really done a madness yet, I don't think. I put Finland through into the round of 16, actually. I'm feeling to do a bit of a madness here. Because we all know logic and rhyme and reason flies out of the window half the time. Croatia are a good side. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying they're a bad side. But this is my opportunity. I'm looking at this game and I'm saying, Niren, for some unknown reason that can't be explained by science, some madness is going to happen. And that madness is Robert Lewandowski. I reckon Poland are going through here. Now, I'm not thinking of a similar madness between France and Ukraine. I think if France don't win against the Ukraine, then there genuinely needs to be a CSI level investigation. Spain versus Finland, another pretty similar situation here, I can't even lie, because with the best one in the world, Finland, I don't even know how they managed to get here, to be honest with you. But Spain, as much as I said they're not the greatest Spanish side ever, by any stretch of the imagination, I think they pretty comfortably knock out Finland. And that leaves us with yet another juicy tie. England versus Portugal. The rerun of the very famous Euro 2004 game. But football's coming home this time, you see. So that's Portugal are a great side, and I think an inquest would need to happen if they go out at a round of 16. So let the inquest occur, ladies and gentlemen. I have no logic for that one. Which leads us to the quarterfinals. An equally easy affair for France here. You've got a backline of which some plays in Germany and has some kind of understanding of how you would play against Robert Lewandowski. Pavard and Andes literally play for Bayern as well. Belgium and Italy is a corker of a game. Italy are a much more well-rounded side. Belgium will be looking to De Bruyne and Lukaku to do most of the damage, but they're not great defensively. Jason Denayer is going to be doing no denying whatsoever. And I reckon Italy could do the business in it. Belgium, that golden generation, come back next year. World Cup, that's your final chance. The Netherlands versus Turkey. I love the idea of Turkey doing well. Do they have as much quality as the Netherlands? I don't think so. I think up to this point, I've matched them against sides who they genuinely are better than. The Netherlands are, like, certain. I want to say they got to the semis of Euro 2008, so actually, like, 13 years. But the Holland through, Netherlands through into the semis. And then that leaves us with Spain versus England. Oh, God, am I an idiot for thinking England could win this? They don't have a great squad. I'm telling you now, that Spanish side is not that wonderful. There's good players players in there, don't get it twisted. But you know what it is, right? Squads-wise, England could win that. It's then Gareth Southgate that holds us back. Maybe I'm being biased, and if I am, tell me. And now it's really meaty because we've got the semi-finals. France versus Italy, another stonker of a game. Italy are a very strong side, but this French side is one of the best in terms of depth and ability we've seen in ages. Any injury really to anybody on that French pitch other than probably Kante or Mbappe, they've got somebody to replace them. So for me, I don't think it surprises anyone here, even though Italy are a great side. I think France go through to the final. And to join them, look, listen, after my bias so far in this video, you may well think, oh man, you know what? I see England going through. Really and truly, I don't think I do. I don't think I see us making the final of this competition. But I think the Netherlands are stronger than Spain, and I think they're on an equal playing field to Portugal. So at this point, we've ridden our luck enough. We've beaten teams that we could quite easily have lost to enough. It's not happening for a third time. And that leaves us with a final of France versus the Netherlands. France are unbelievable, okay? Let's talk about this. You know, they've got a ridiculous squad with ridiculous depth. Can they really win 3 tournaments in a row? Even that unbelievable Spanish side that revolutionized football was unable to do that. Are we due a shock contender? A lot of people were suggesting that the Netherlands would be a side that could really go for this when they originally qualified. But France equally with Kante, Mbappe, Pogba, world beaters, superstars, elite players, I think they would get the better. I think they ultimately would beat the Netherlands in the final. So for me, my prediction is for France to win Euro 2020. As you can see, France are the most popular. 25% of people predicting France to win, with England second. That's my prediction for Euro 2020. But who do you think is gonna win? What do you agree with here? What do you disagree with here? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video though, slap a like on it and subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @officialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourselves and goodbye.